Hey guys, I'm cmasupra, and welcome to another Company of Heroes commentary. Now this may literally be the shortest game I have ever uploaded to YouTube, and there's a good reason for that, but I wouldn't normally do this. What I'm trying to say is I wouldn't normally upload such a short game, but this one shows off a very important tactic, so I decided to upload it. This important tactic is called getting in the way of your opponent's retreat path, essentially. So, I am playing as Panzer Elite. My opponent is Americans, and I'm just doing a normal start with the one Kettenkrad you start with, and then two Panzer Grenadier squads, and I just keep spamming Panzer Grenadier squads until I feel like I need something else. And I said, good luck, have fun. He responded with R2, so I was like, what's R2? I'm used to U2, but I don't know what R2 is. I'm like, R2D2? Are you trying to make a Star Wars reference and you only did it half? I think I was actually the one that was making the Star Wars joke. I don't think he was trying to do anything related to Star Wars, and he just doesn't speak English natively is probably it. Anyways, we have our first engagement with the engineers. It is the best kind of engagement you can have if you're playing as Panzer Elite, because your infantry is a lot more powerful than the engineers. And if your opponent doesn't have engineers, if you kill them off, then he can't do very much capping, which means you get the whole map and you've pretty much won the game. So kind of like if the Americans kill your Kettenkrad, you lose the whole game pretty much, because you can't cap much unless you buy another Kettenkrad for 165 or 160 manpower, can't remember how much it is now. It's the same way with the Americans if they lose their engineers against Panzer Elite, because Panzer Elite can quickly capture the whole map with their Kettenkrads, because Kettenkrads have a really high capture rate, I believe. Infantry, the Panzer Grenadiers, only have a 0.75 capture rate. Rifles have a 1.25 or 1.5. Engineers are either 1.25 or 1.5 as well. And I think the Kettenkrad is 1.5, I'm not entirely sure. But the point is, Panzer Elite can pretty much take over the map if the American doesn't have engineers, and the American can pretty much take over the map if the Panzer Elite doesn't have a Kettenkrad. So that's why I really liked that first engagement. I was so glad to find engineers and not riflemen. Anyways, I just pushed off his riflemen at his cutoff point using 3 of my Panzer Grenadier squads. And he didn't have much of any fighting force. He had 1 rifle squad. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe he sent a rifle squad down to the right side of the map and it's capturing points there. I don't know. But anyways, I'm now taking his cutoff point in the middle of the map, which means that he won't have any resources from the right side of the map, and he doesn't have very many on the left. He only has a fuel point. He doesn't even have the munitions point on the left. He might have the munitions point on the right side of his base. I don't know at this point, but he's not getting very many resources. I'm getting a ton more resources than he is. So this is going quite well for me. Now onto the topic of the video, retreat paths. I can't really demonstrate it yet. It's kind of a little bit later in this match because of something my opponent does, and it just works out for me, but it demonstrates the idea very, very well, because it works out so well for me. Yeah, that's a spoiler. I rarely ever upload a game I lose. I do upload a game I lose every once in a while if it's a good game or a significant game for some other reason, but normally I upload only the ones I win. Okay, so why am I building the tier 3 building, whatever it's called, already? I didn't build any tier 2 units or tier 1 units. I just built the tier 2 building, and I'm going straight to tier 3. I can't remember what any of those buildings are called. Kampfgruppe Company is tier 2. Panzerjäger Command, maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, I can't remember which one's tier 3. But I went straight from tier 2 to tier 3 without building any tier 2 units because I wanted to rush to the armored car you can see I'm clicking on right now. And the reason I wanted the armored car is because I knew my opponent wouldn't have any teching going on because he has so few resources. So I just knew I could decimate him with an armored car and he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. And right here you see my Panzer Grenadiers just killed that rifle squad. That's what this topic is about, retreat paths. If you place your infantry in the retreat path of your opponent's infantry, that's not a good way to explain it. Okay, say your infantry and your opponent's infantry are in a battle and you know you're going to win the battle. What you want to do is figure out what retreat path his infantry is going to take when he decides to retreat his infantry, and then you take some of your other units and place them in the middle of his retreat path. So like right here, I have 3 Panzer Grenadiers in the retreat path at the top of the screen, although they're not there now, and I have this battle going on between engineers and Panzer Grenadiers. The engineers retreat, and woohoo! In their retreat path, I have 3 Panzer Grenadier squads right there, and those engineers get decimated. So that's pretty much what this video is about. That's the second time it's happened so far, and those Panzer Grenadiers have not moved an inch. Although, I guess they have moved an inch just because they move naturally, but you get the idea. So, you pretty much want to have a battle going on, you know you're going to win, and then you take your infantry, your extra infantry rather, put it in the retreat path of your opponent's unit that you're battling, and then that unit will have to go through your units in order to get back to his base, and he might not even make it back to his base because of that. Here's another example. My opponent gets out of the house too late. He probably wanted to retreat but wasn't able to, and it wouldn't have mattered because my Panzer Grenadiers were between him and his base, so he had to go right through my Panzer Grenadiers to try and get back to his base when he hit retreat, which he never actually did hit retreat. But if he had, then it would have happened. At this point, my opponent's just throwing away his infantry. He's not actually trying because he knows he's lost. At this point, I have so much infantry. He has lost so much infantry. And this is what I mean by showing off the concept very well. Apparently, he could afford grenades. That's interesting. But anyways, as you can see, it worked out so well for me to have my infantry in his retreat path because I was able to just decimate his infantry like that. I didn't even need the armored car to decimate his infantry, really. But, yeah, you get the idea. Wow. 1 rifle squad and a jeep versus 3 Panzer Grenadier squads and an infantry half-track. Who was gonna win that battle? Make your guesses now, even though it's already ended. I laugh at my own jokes, even if they're stupid. So yeah, he's just throwing away his infantry now. The game's pretty much over. I wouldn't blame you if you stopped watching at this point, quite honestly. I might have another retreat path example to show, but honestly, I think the 2 you saw earlier were very good examples of it, and I don't really need to show you anymore. At this point, I'm just taking the whole map and cutting him off from all of his resources, and there's the end of the game. There we go. So he had 1 rifle squad left. That was it. I had an armored car, Kettenkrad, 1 Panzer Grenadier squad. What else? Why am I looking at the points? I have no idea. 3 more, so that's 4 Panzer Grenadier squads, an infantry half-track, a Kettenkrad, a whatchamacallit, an armored car, and some other vehicle in the middle of the map, probably another armored car. So yeah, he had 1 rifle squad against all that. Those retreat paths really helped. You can decimate their infantry and then they don't have a chance of winning. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very, very short video. I hope it was informative. Maybe you can use it in your own games. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.